The Blackwell Ghost is a found footage film that has 4 sequels. And these are movies that I've always looked at and was like, because there's this and the Bad Ben franchise. And these are all super ultra low budget found footage films that are made by like a single guy. I know it's more than a couple people, but regardless, it's a very small group of people with very little to no money. The Fear footage is another one, has 3 films. So there's some found footage franchises out there that have like $0, but that's kind of the appeal of found footage horror to filmmakers, is that they can make it for nothing and it can feel like the bigger budget ones because it's supposed to have that raw feel to it. Anyways, this is a director who's actually done like Disaster LA, and he's done some titles. Like if you look into his work, I've actually seen a couple of his movies, his zombie movies, and I liked them. I thought they were fine. I thought they were all right for what they were. And so this kind of actually reminds me a little bit of why am I? It's not Adam Wingard. Adam Green from Hatchet and whatever. He made a found footage movie, and in that movie he plays himself, and he's talking about how he wants to investigate these little monsters and whatever, and he goes out and that's what he does within that movie. And this is exactly what's happening here. This guy is this director who's directed some lower budget horror, and he's like, "Hey, I wanted to make a ghost documentary with my friend." I want to say it was what it was in the beginning, but then later it becomes his wife. Now the actress in this, I don't think is actually his wife, but maybe she is. I don't know, but maybe that would be cool if it was, because that would make it even feel more authentic. But anyways, he is looking up these videos online, and he finds this one video, and he believes it to potentially be real, but it might be bullshit. He doesn't know, so he calls up the guy, finds him, and the guy's like, "Hey man, you want to come over and I can show you everything?" And so he comes over, and the guy allows him and his wife to stay the night there. And when they do, they bring some cameras along with them and try to capture some ghostly activity or paranormal activity, if the trademark would allow, which it wouldn't, or copyright or whatever the fuck. And this is only 60 minutes long. It is available on Prime. The sequels are not. And I will say, I liked this quite a bit. Definitely very curious about the second one. Want to know where it goes for sure. Want to know, what's the next chapter to this and how there's 4 more of them. But I liked the main guy. I thought he was likable. I thought that he was natural and believable. He definitely tries to sell this like it's real. It's not, but whatever. It's fun. And I thought that it was pretty eerie. I thought that even though this is definitely one of those films where nothing happens, so if you're somebody who's like, "Oh, no, found footage is lame to me because nothing ever happens and it's just an excuse and all that," then you're not going to like it. But if you are a found footage person, this is a cool one. I've been showing Kaylee tons of found footage lately. And then she was like, "Well, we keep watching things you've already seen. Why don't we watch some things you haven't seen that you want to see?" And I was like, "Okay, lost footage of Lee Sullivan, Blackwell Ghost, so on and so forth." And so these are the first 2 we watched yesterday. And when we were done, we talked about it, and we were like, yeah, we both liked it a lot. We definitely watched the sequel. There are some things in this that if I saw, I'm a skeptic of skeptics. And I would probably remain a skeptic because I would try to explain that it was somebody who did it and blah, blah, blah. But it's fucking creepy. I mean, the ending is definitely like unsettling to me, even though you don't really see anything. And enough happens to me and they have that like, the camera slows down after the fact and shows you like what you missed and like freeze frames on stuff. I like that. That stuff's effective to me, and it's cool. And if you spot it before they do that, you're always like, "Wait, I saw something, didn't I?" And then they go back and they freeze on it. You're like, "Yeah, I did see that. I knew I saw that." And then I asked Kayla, I'm like, did you see that? And she's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, she's like, where? And I was like, it was up there. And then it zooms in. It's like, see? And you're like, yeah, I got it. And she was like, high five. Okay, that didn't happen. Nobody high fived me. I high fived myself. But yeah, I liked him. And his wife was uninterested, it felt. She didn't add anything to the film. She didn't detract from the film. I liked her fine. She was fine. She was there. And she felt real. She felt real. She felt like a wife who was supportive but didn't give a shit, ultimately. It was just kind of there to be supportive. So, yeah, she's fine. But I did like him a lot. And I know that he's in all of the other ones as the commentator. And my buddy Jake from my Sinister Cinema Facebook group told me that he actually has liked every installment of this franchise more with, as the subsequent chapters come out. So he's watched all 5 of these, or at least I think he said 5. Maybe it was only 4 of them. I don't know. But he was like, I've liked every one more than the last one, and we have pretty similar tastes. So definitely looking forward to the second one. The 2, 3, 4, and 5 are not on Amazon Prime. They're all $3 a piece. So $12 for this franchise. I don't know. Maybe. They're so short. I wish they were all on Prime at one time and I missed it. Oops. But yeah, I dug this. It's just him going to a house and spending the night with his wife, filming it, and waking up in the morning, checking the footage, seeing little things. Wakes up one night, shit's kind of going on, but you don't really see anything. It's really all just kind of left open for your interpretation, or not even your interpretation. There's some creepy stuff. It's not like nothing happens. But it's definitely a less is more kind of movie. And that might not work for everybody. But for a no-budget 60-minute film, it really kept my attention. I think 60 minutes is a really good runtime for found footage films, because a lot of found footage films add a lot of filler because they can't come up with a lot of cool things because they don't have the budget. So they kind of force in extra long shots and interviews that don't really play into the film. This one only has 3 people in the entire film. It's just him, his wife, and the guy whose house they go to investigate, and that's it. Those are the only 3 people you see in this movie. And at a very quick 60 minutes, I had a good time. So for found footage fans, definitely worth a watch. I'll report back on the 2nd, possibly the 3rd, 4th, 5th. We'll see. But I did watch Bad Ben like a year ago or something, and I thought it was okay, I guess. And then I tried to watch the second one, like Steamville Road or whatever the fuck it's called, and I shut it off after like 5 or 10 minutes. I thought it was god awful. The CGI, they added some like effects, and I was like, what is this? No. But they've made like 7 or 8 of those fucking things now. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll check them out, but as of right now, the Bad Bens just aren't really high on my list. But are there found footage films you think I haven't seen that you think I should see? Lower budgeted ones like the Fear footage, like the lost footage of Leah Sullivan, like the Bad Bens, like the Blackwell ghosts? Let me know. I'll check them out. Adios.